If you're watching this video on release, you guys are probably like, Poppin, where is the replay reviews? You do them every Saturday. Well, if you want free replay reviews, join the Discord. There's a tab. Put your replay there. We do them every Saturday, except this Saturday. So we're not gonna be doing them today. But at least you got a video. At least you still get to see me. So today we're gonna be doing some more Reddit stuff. You guys seem to like it before, so we'll hop on into it today. Now this one's kind of spicy. We just jumping on in. We already starting spicy. So this one says, Angela deserves some hate. This is by EmbarrassBit8169. It seems that only DPS are allowed to be hated on this sub, but Angela is essentially just an unkillable dive DPS. She has better mobility than anyone in the game except Spider-Man, does absurd burst damage, constant CC spam, and requires no skill. Hands down, the most annoying character in the game in my opinion, while being in almost every match. Every single Angela main is like, bro, what is you on? Now we don't hate people when we read this. I'm just giving my reaction, and I'm just saying Angela players are like, what? This type of comment, in my opinion, is coming from someone who probably doesn't play Angela. Because if you play Angela, you know she has no damage. If you play Angela, you know she doesn't have non-stop CC. If you play Angela, you know if you mess up, you're probably gonna get exploded anyway. We're already starting off on a crazy foot, but let's keep going. But no one complains, because the truth is that people much prefer dying to no-skill characters. That way, their ego doesn't get so bruised. Bro, you got Magic and Iron Fist, but we complaining about Angela. Let's let that one sink in. The real reason people hate Spidey so much is because they know he's hard to play. Huh? This causes the average player to get irrationally angry when dying to him because they need to accept that they got styled on, which is impossible for them. I'm the type of Spider-Man that doesn't do all the cool fancy tricks. You don't really need to. You just need to know how to swing in, swing out, get your target, clean up, you know, just the basic stuff. You don't need to do the extra stuff that makes the cool, stylish Spider-Man. That being said, that's not hard to do. So, let's keep going. We already anyway. And I don't want to hear, but she's not metal in the comments because neither was Spidey when we had 20 threads a day being about him. It really feels like this season we finally reached a balanced breakpoint where the most skill expressive characters are now also the weakest, and all of the brain dead easy ones are very strong. Magic, Iron Fist, Daredevil, Hulk, The Thing, Cloak and Dagger. I mean, are we just gonna keep going, or we just go next this one? Let's move to the next one. We just going back to back with Juicy. No, I'm just saying, Juicy Fruit, they must be sponsoring this video. They're not. They're not. All right, the next one is the angry. I mean, if we already just gonna start off being angry, we already know where this post is leading. But anyway, 90% of my matches have levers and throwers. I mean, if it's quick play, I can kind of see that. You jerks have no idea what you're talking about. Just perform well and you'll rank up. Oh really? I'm gonna rank up a lot because I'm doing well each game, even though people keep leaving my games, which causes us to lose any momentum, and then no one agrees to surrender, forcing us to endure an A beating. I hate that. Wow, you're so wise. This sentence structure is just, that's why we're having issues. Wow. You're so wise. Oh, wonderful GM1 Celestial ranked player. I had no idea it was that easy. I guess I'm just bad at the game and imagining all the throwing and leaving. Thank you for showing me how wrong I am. Oh, amazing Reddit intellectual. It's definitely my fault I can't rank up for sure. Petty grievances aside, this game needs a lever/thrower queue, force all of them to play with each other so the rest of us can actually have an enjoyable experience. Meta ranks suck. I've climbed on console and PC. And I'm gonna just throw it out here. It's not 90% of the games. Our brains love to remember the bad, but never the good. Hands down, not 90% of your games has throwers. I mean, that's literally saying, yeah, that ain't happening. I guarantee that ain't happening. But I will say, no matter what platform you're on, Grandmaster players hands down throw the most. I even stream my games, and you guys have seen me play like 7 games, lose 5, and 4 out of the 5 are levers or throwers. What in the only Grandmaster players? But I think Grandmaster players just have egos and they don't like when their egos are bruised and then they just like throw games. And it's really frequent in Grandmaster. That being said, I don't think I've ever seen it in any other ranks. Of course, comment below if you guys have different experiences. But I'm gonna assume if you are in metal ranks, and I don't even use that term, but I'm gonna assume metal ranks are the metal tiers, like bronze, like just metal, you know? I'm gonna assume that it's because you don't deserve to climb yet. I've never had issues climbing in any of those ranks because you get so many points. Once you get to like Grandmaster, even Celestial, those two ranks, you'll start to see your points. You'll start to see that you win less and you lose more eventually. And so that's what makes climbing hard. But when you're in like bronze, you get like 40 to 50 points a win and you lose like 10. I think we do need a levers queue. I do think that we need, well, not a queue, but I do think we need more punishment for levers and throwers. There needs to be a system that can literally look at stats and be like, bro, you're throwing, or bro, you left the match, and do something about it. What they have now is a timer, but the timer can start while you're offline, or a timer can start while you're in a game, which means that the timer can run out the next time you play, which just defeats the purpose. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I definitely think there needs to be some sort of situation here when it comes to the levers and throwers queue for sure. Moving on to the next one, and this was kind of short, but it's interesting. So they say current fly 759. Duos. Gotta make sure you have 5 of them because that's how many they have. I can't play this game anymore solo. If anyone wants to do duos, let me know. You guys know that I already just said it in the video, but I'm gonna say it again. I climb both platforms, right? And both platforms, you guys see me stream, and I'm always playing by myself. When it comes to climbing the main account for both platforms, I play solo. I play solo, and I don't use comms at all either. I feel like if you use comms, you don't need a duo. I mean, doesn't that make sense? I mean, I don't use comms, so I don't know. But if anyone uses comms out there, let me know. If you use comms, aren't you essentially just stacking? If you guys are all working together, technically. I know you don't always play with them, but isn't it fair, the communication? I will say that anyone who thinks like this, just be careful. Because what this does is when you get a duo or you get people stacking with you or something like that, especially if they're better players than you, it's covering up your weakness. So essentially, you're not learning how to improve or get better at what you're weak at. You're pretty much just kind of coasting along while someone covers that side of you. But if you climb high enough where that your weakness gets abused too much, you'll start to hit a wall. And you'll feel like, well, the game's against me, I can't win, I can't do anything. But pretty much either duoed or you've stacked or you whatever, and they were covering up your weakness. So you gotta be careful with that, because it's not technically being boosted if you're the same rank as the person. If they're higher ranked than you, you definitely got boosted. But if you're the same rank, if I'm gold and my friend's gold and we play together and I don't really know how to, I don't know how to watch my back, or I don't know how to position as support, but my gold duo over there that's DPS always watches my back. So like every time I get dove or anything like that, I know that they'll watch my back and they'll KO them for me. If I climb that way to like platinum and diamond and I never learned how to fend for myself, A, when I play solo, I'm gonna get wrecked. And then B, even if we do play as duos and we hit that rank, I never learned how to do anything myself in terms of defense. So my friend can't continue to do that because they have their own stuff to deal with. So you guys can see how this type of thing can end up in a negative situation. So just if you think like this, just make sure that when you play with a duo, you're still trying to work on all aspects of your gameplay. So that way you're not stuck in the water trying to swim when you start getting abused and that weakness starts to get abused. Every single post has been juicy. Let's go. No shame. 4722. No heals. Like, shut up. Like, bro, shut up before I slap you. That's what they said. That's what they wanted. I hate when people complain about getting no heals, but do not protect or switch and counter to even get heals. I'm over here fighting for my life in the back line while you up in the front screaming no heals. It irks me. And it's always the person complaining that literally sucks and won't switch. Didn't want to leave the game. Do better, win as a team, lose as a team. Ooh, I don't even know where to start with this one. All right, let's just break this one down because you guys know I climb all roles. So I have the perspective of all three. I'm gonna start with the healers, just because that's the one making this post. When it comes to a support saying that someone else needs to swap because they're getting handled, that generally means the person playing the support character isn't willing to swap. Because that should be your first defense. It shouldn't be trying to fight people. It should definitely be swap to Rocket, swap to Jeff. I don't even like playing with that character, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Swap to Ultron, swap to these characters that are designed to deal with divers. So if you're playing something like Cloak and Dagger and you're getting dove on by the Hulk and maybe even Gambit or like Captain America, and you're like complaining that nobody's peeling for you, that's 3 characters, bro. That's really hard to peel off. So you should switch to Ultron and then problem solved. You know what I mean? So I do think a lot of healers try to blame their team sometimes when it comes to them not getting peeled, but not understanding that they should just play better. It's swap. Now, the other side of that coin is that a lot of these healers complain about it but can't position. So you have a lot of people that stand really, really close. And you guys see me review games, whether they're bronze or eternity. You guys see in my games, like these people, even one above all, these people, sometimes the healers are just out of position. And then they get KO'd. And then they get out of position again. And then they get KO'd. The person is just very, very good at taking out the person that's not in position, right? Now, the lower rank you go, the more healers are out of position. Let's be honest. And so, again, we're kind of doing that thing where it's like, well, it's my team's fault because I'm not in position. It's my team's fault because I'm not swapping characters. That being said, there are a lot of tank players that tend to move forward even though the healers are dealing with a lot of things in the back. It's not your job to peel them all the time. You can help, but it's not your job to babysit. But you also just can't be moving forward. So like, I understand where that's coming from because I've had many tanks when I play support. They're like, no heals. It's like, bro, every time I get dove, you move forward and you get KO'd. And it's like, bro, we need to sync this up somehow. The other one is DPS, right? And generally speaking, I think a lot of DPS just don't know how to position, especially divers. They just go in, get exploded, and expect heals 24/7. So that also is just kind of like a timing issue. Most of the time, this could all just be remedied by the person playing better. If the support is getting flamed at, or if the support is saying that, oh, I'm getting dove all the time and nobody's helping me, you need to swap to a character that's undivable, basically. All right. If you banned out, well, then that sucks for you. You don't deserve to win that match. You're not supposed to win every match. If a DPS is like, oh, my supports never heal me, you need to slow down. If the tank's like, oh, my supports never heal me, you need to slow down. Okay. It's just all about pacing things together. Your team's not supposed to protect you from being dove 24/7. They can't play if the DPS's goal is to make an opening for the enemy team, they need to be able to play the game. But if they're always babysitting you, they can't play the game. If the tank's goal is to create space, but they need to babysit, they can't play the game. You see what I'm saying? So like it goes to everybody, and everyone can definitely play better. But more often than not, when I do see a healer complaining, it's because they're generally always out of position, or they're just not swapping to a character that can't be dove. Those are typically it. Now, I'm not saying that's your fault, post person, but I am saying that's typically the case most of the time. What I will say is if you're ever finding yourself in the position as a healer and you're like, bro, my team they're complaining, and tell them to slow down. Just say, wait, I'm getting dove. I need to, just hold on. Let me deal with that real quick, and then we can push together. Because that's how you deal with divers. You don't deal with divers by brute force. You need to let them expend everything and then move as a unit. Expend everything, move as a unit. Rinse and repeat, and you will start winning those matches. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. There was a lot of crazy topics. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about any of this stuff, because I'm curious to know what you guys think. And as I said before, if you guys missed out on the replay review, today because I'm not doing it today. Don't worry, we'll be doing it next Saturday, and I'll see you guys then. We might pop some more videos out this week though. We gotta see. But I didn't want to leave you guys empty on Saturday. So thank you guys for watching. Until next time, you know what I always say. Think you guys should do what? PoppinOften. We'll often.